Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another episode of our Leeds United Career Mode series. Guys, another 5 games for you here today as we continue our season off the back of a very good episode in the last episode. We had 2 FA Cup games. We played both Manchester clubs. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out on the channel. But we did actually end up beating Manchester City and then losing to United. So a really good episode last episode, I think, in terms of the performances. And we do carry this on into this game against Bristol City at home. I like their away kit. That's very different for Bristol City, especially considering their colour scheme is like red and white. The fact that they're wearing purple and green is just, it's so different that it actually threw me off a little bit. I wasn't expecting it, but we do go up 1-0 and Hernandez nearly makes it 2. And I said last episode I'm learning his free kicks, and there we go, another effort from him. And speaking of effort, Kibiki started this game in the striker position and he was just harassing the defense. You saw him there straight off the goal kick, just running at plays. He's got very good pace for someone his height, because he's actually quite a tall guy. I think he's maybe 6 or 6'1", so he does actually have very good pace for his height, and he's actually a very impressive striker. He works very hard for the team and he creates a lot of chances. It's actually a win here in today's first game of the episode, and we move into another home game against Sheffield Wednesday. A bit tougher of an opponent maybe than Bristol City, and we do switch up the lineup to a bit more of a stronger one, I would say. So hopefully we can carry on the winning ways and get another 3 points. We do have quite a considerable lead at the top of the table now. We took a look at the table in the last episode and we had games in hand and we had a lead, so not too worried about picking up points. But Sheffield Wednesday start the game off fantastically. Forestieri just sitting in the box waiting for the ball, and it was an issue that I touched on last episode, was the free space that some attackers have in the box when playing against us. And this time a bit my fault and a bit the positioning of Cooper's fault, and he just completely misses Forestieri. Didn't know where he was almost, and Cooper's done that a few times this season now, and he has his positioning is costing us goals, I would say. So definitely something to think about going into the future, maybe going into the Premier League season. Whether or not Cooper's good enough to actually play for us, I'm not quite sure. Kmart Roof goes on a fantastic run there, and it's actually Westwood who's able to put out a good save and does very well for Sheffield Wednesday. But Lasoga there, great dribbling, nice little fake shot as well, finds Kmart Roof, and this time we find our attacking player in a bit of space in the penalty box. He just stops his run there and the defender goes a little bit too much and just waits for the ball. Lasoga did really well, not really known for his dribbling and his ability to create, but he does have that part of his game, and it was really great dribbling from Lasoga to get himself free and just pass it through to Kmart Roof and get us back in this game at home, which isn't something you want to say. You don't really want to be getting back into games at home. You want to be dominating games at home. And Sayis now tries a little bit of an effort from the left-hand side, cutting into his right. He's been very good with these long shots. And as you can see, he was again commanding this game from the attacking mid position. Ronaldo Vieira also giving the post a little something to think about, just letting it know that we're there. We hit like pretty much every single side of the post, I would say. The crossbar and I think both uprights we hit as well, so not the best, and we do actually end up drawing this game. Kmart Roof, man of the match. He was great. Sayis, I thought his match rating was a little bit lower than it deserved to be, but I think Lasoga also had a very good game, and unfortunately it is a draw going now away to Middlesbrough. So to start off the episode, a home win and a home draw is not too bad, and we try and carry a little bit of momentum into these away games, which we kind of have been struggling in. Most of our losses have been from the away games, so just trying to carry some sort of momentum going against Middlesbrough, who in FIFA have a very good team. In real life they're doing alright, but in FIFA have a very good team, and it's Martin Braithwaite who starts Middlesbrough off on the right foot in just under 8 minutes, picks up a goal, and it's a fantastically worked goal. You can't even take anything away from it. It's really good. I mean, it's weird to see Martin Braithwaite without hair, by the way, but it was a well-worked goal, and you could just see on his left foot just curling it in. So unfortunate that we go 1-0 down here against Middlesbrough. We do try and fight back in just before the second half. It is an Alioski now with a great run. How he picks his spot there, how he threads himself through 2 players is absolutely astounding, but unfortunately doesn't get it. Also in this game, Grot was starting. We actually had an international break during this game, which is actually something that I haven't mentioned going into this game. So actually the defense was probably the more makeshift part of this team, but I decided to put Grot in striker as well, just because we did have so many players out on international duty. Pontus Jansson we didn't have, and the likes of the higher end players, so we didn't have a very good defense. As you can see, Pennington came in and Jorge were the 2 centre-backs, Ayling on the right and Anita on the left. Very makeshift. Click was in the midfield, Grot at strike, and it is actually a 1-0 loss to Middlesbrough when it is all said and done. And we stay on the road and we travel to Reading for another away game here. And again, finding a little bit of inconsistency. We had this a couple episodes ago where we just didn't know going into a game what we'd find. But it's a great start from Lasogga into Kmar Roof, who just is unable to get his shot off there. It probably would have been a certified goal if he had just gotten his shot off, and instead 20 or so minutes later, it's B. Renz or something along those lines. I don't know, he had beer in his name, that's all I was thinking about. But he puts Reading up 1-0 in the 22nd minute, and just really, I'd say, Reading's first chance, which it seems like that sometimes happens. Against the run of play, sometimes we get caught out as well. And it's unfortunate. It's a rebound goal. There's no one really here to blame. Anita did his best. Vidval did his best. Cooper's not going to get there in time off the rebound. Straight back to the striker. And unfortunately, we do go down 1-0. Here in just before halftime, you do not want to concede just before halftime, but a great ball from Evans back to the beer man, Beer Ends, or whatever his name is, to put up Reading 2-0 up just before halftime. I was feeling not too bad going down 1-0, but at 2-0, I knew it'd be a struggle to get anything out of this game, and going down 2-0 at halftime is just not what you want, really, especially away from home where Reading can do pretty much what they want to do. Can control the game. They can play the football that they want to play. They don't have to risk anything. They can tighten up in defense, and it's really, really difficult because actually teams do that in FIFA 18. They actually do tighten up a lot, so yeah, you're restricted to very few chances and low quality chances, and that's what I found going into the second half. But it is Cooper who knocks it on to Roof, who gives us a chance at maybe getting a point out of this game. Half an hour still left in the game, and it's a good bit of play from Cooper. I actually did this on purpose. I actually knew that I wasn't going to go for a direct shot. I thought I'd head this on to somebody else in the box, and it actually works out with Kmar Roof making a very good run to make it 2-1 with half an hour left to go. And I was actually feeling a little bit more confident now as we play through to Sayis. He's got room on the right for Kmar Roof, who just has to put it in the back of the net. I thought he'd open up his body and play it with his left foot, and he just didn't. And it's a 2-1 loss. It was our last chance of the game, really worth showing. And it's just unfortunate. I thought we really could have gotten something out of this game. I thought we performed to a decent level to get a draw here at Reading. And it was a good chance that we just did not put in the back of the net through Kmar Roof, who's actually had a very good episode in my opinion. So 2 losses, back-to-back losses, both away from home. And we do go back to now Elland Road, where we do play Bolton, who are not really the best team in the championship in real life or in the game. And we start off fantastically. The defense just gets cut with Alioski making a fantastic run. The through ball finds him to a T, and it's like a hot knife through butter. That's the best way to describe that. Alioski just goes straight through the defense, doesn't even think about it, doesn't ask for permission, just goes straight through. On his left foot, he's been so good, and he puts that in the back of the net. And Alioski is one of the players who's stepped up since the turn of the new year. From January onwards, he's been absolutely fantastic, and he puts us up 1-0 within a few minutes of the game, and it's a great start. And as you can see here, just a few minutes later now, Ailing goes on this fantastic run, as you can see, on the right-hand side, doing really well, has options, but it actually turns out that he's just going to go all the way. He thinks to himself, why not go for all the way? Doesn't go for anybody. He sees space, he attacks it, and that is an incredible goal from our right-back. I was talking about Vernon Anita, I think it was last episode or 2 episodes ago, about how I thought Vernon Anita was potentially the better right-back of the two, and Ailing just shuts me up pretty much. I mean, Anita is very good, and I don't know, I still don't know who's the better right back. Yes, that's a fantastic run, but realistically speaking, a right back doesn't really need to do that to be a very good right back, but that is just so impressive from Ailing, just that versatility in his game. He's tall, he's got good dribbling, and he can shoot. And Bolton Wanderers on the back foot very early on. They do, however, respond quite well to that second goal. And being down 2-0 early on, it's not easy to respond well, and Bolton actually do that. And just over half an hour in the game, it's Sammy Amiobi who brings them back in the game off of sort of what we did in the other game. We just sort of nodded it on off the corner. This time a little bit different. Laid off, I think, from their centre-back, wearing number 5. I think it's their centre-back that just lays it off. And it's Sammy Amiobi who does fantastic to just be in the right place at the right time, which I think strikers have to do sometimes. You got to have that natural instinct, and he brings it back to 2-1 and makes this game a little bit more interesting. Sacco, a fantastic fake shot. I love fake shotting in this game. It's just so good. I think anyway, I think the animations that they brought in for fake shooting and just the effectiveness of it against the computer controlled players, I think is really good. So going into the second half, it's a 2-1 lead, and it is Alioski who tries bringing us back. Ailing as well, who's just like having the most shots of the game so far, tries to bring us back in it as well. It's Bolton Wanderers now just over the hour mark, and it is Beavers who set up the initial goal. I think he is a centre-back. He looks a little bit short, but I think he is a centre-back. This time he gets the goal himself, and he brings Bolton back to an equal level. 2-2 now, just over an hour in, and we lose the 2-0 lead. And really, 2-0 up at 9-10 minutes into the game, you don't expect to be drawing the game. You expect to go on and really command the game, and unfortunately we didn't do that here today, which is something we probably should have done. And it's unfortunate we find ourselves in this position trying to fight back, but we do fight back through Connor Chaplin. He started this game, and he's usually coming on as a sub, but he did really, really well in this game. I was very happy with his performance, and he gets the goal that he's deserved, and I think a goal that maybe he hasn't scored in a very long time. I don't know, I can't remember the last time Chaplin scored. It might be actually recent, but I don't remember it. But that's a great finish. Just takes the... Oh no, he doesn't even take a touch. My bad. He doesn't even take a touch. Just first time. Outside the box. On his left. Curling into the top right corner. And he puts us back into the lead. Which is very, very crucial at home. And from now on, we just sort of pinged some shots. We were commanding the game. I thought we were in control. Going into the last couple minutes of the game. Defending well as well through Ayling. Who actually just ends up giving the ball away. And out of nowhere, it's 3-3. Out of nowhere. We had the ball, we were defending it, we gave the ball away, one pass, and it was all over. We're drawing again, into injury time now, 3-3 against Bolton. Poor work from Ayling. I don't know if I could have actually cleared that, because the player was right in front of me, so I don't know what exactly Ayling could have done, but it is so unfortunate. Beaten at the near post is Vidvald, who a couple of you guys have been pointing out that maybe we need a new goalkeeper. And a couple of you I don't think like Vidvald at all. And it's a 3-3 draw here against Bolton. And as much as I'd like to say that the performance probably warranted the win, I have to actually give credit to Bolton. They played so well. I think they really did earn the point. And even though it was a 90th minute goal and we gave the ball to them, I think they earned it, and it's not easy to say that because we really should be beating Bolton at home, and unfortunately we haven't. So at the end of today's episode, with a game in hand over everybody but Fulham, who we play in the next episode, we're currently sitting in the lead by 5 points over Brentford, who are in second, and then Sheffield Wednesday in third, Sunderland in fourth, Middlesbrough in fifth, and Reading in sixth. In terms of some of the teams still fighting for the top 6, QPR 1 point out, Norwich and now Wolves are 2 points out, and Fulham 3 points out. So we play Fulham, who are fighting for a top 6 position, and we play them in the next episode. Wolverhampton, what has happened to Wolverhampton Wanderers? Dropped off from 1st to 9th within a matter of months. I mean, they have just dropped off the face of the planet, and it just shows in the championship how much can change in such a short amount of time. So we definitely still have to be wary that despite having a 5-point lead and a game in hand going into the last 7 games of the season for us, it's not a said and sure thing. It's not said and done. It's not 100%. We could still drop out of the top 2. Maybe not out of the top 6, but still out of the top 2. So we got to keep ourselves... So we got to stay on our toes and make sure we pick up the results. But that is it for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, leave a like on the video. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.